Well, thank you, Chairman Pallone, for holding this very important hearing on how we modernize infrastructure across America. I agree with what I've heard from my colleagues and our terrific witnesses here today. We can boost higher paying jobs across this country by expanding broadband, doubling down on the clean energy economy, doing some more on public health infrastructure, and I'm hearing great support from folks I represent back home in the state of Florida. They understand what the Recovery Act meant to our communities, and they would like a more robust partnership. Really, the federal government has got to be a meaningful partner. It can't be just all talk, no action. I'm particularly interested in how we build a 100% clean energy economy going forward. And Ms. Ekdish, thank you so much for your leadership in that of the Blue-Green Alliance. You're already building partnerships across the country to build that clean energy economy. Would you go into greater detail on a few things? Smart grid investments. Why do you think that those smart grid investments could be a key to building the clean energy economy? And then talk about what it means for jobs when we're talking about the smart grids and a modern electric grid. And then I'd also like you to focus on energy efficiency in green buildings. I've seen what the private sector is doing. Now the public sector wants to do more, but it seems like they need some resources from the feds to help give them a push.
Sure, thank you for the question, and thank you for your leadership with the Select Committee. In terms of your first question, I think grid modernization is key both from a climate resilience perspective as well as a greenhouse gas emission reduction perspective. As I mentioned, grid modernization, grid resiliency, as well as transmission expansion can be key to facilitating electric vehicles as well as further deployment of clean energy onto our grid. It can also make sure or help ensure that our communities are more resilient to the impacts of climate change, as you know well in your state, from power outages to flooding and storm surges. To your second question, building efficiency is key and a huge opportunity. There are already about 2 million workers employed in the energy efficiency sector today. So with further investments, we know we can dramatically expand those jobs. And many of those today are already good jobs in the building and construction trades. With domestic content requirements, we can also expand the manufacturing of energy efficient products and materials. There are already tremendous jobs today in the manufacturing of energy efficient component parts. So with further federal investment coupled with labor standards and procurement standards, there's significant opportunity to expand that.
So I had to step out of the hearing for a little while to sit down with one of America's mayors of a very large metropolitan area, and he explained to me how they run a municipal utility, and they decided to go 100% clean energy over the next couple of decades. And one of the things they set out to do, they took their coal plants offline. But he said they had to give special attention to a lot of the folks who were employed there. And yes, it means community college training initiatives, but it can't just be a short-term focus. This has got to be something that we focus on to ensure as we transition from the old dirty fossil fuel energy sources to clean energy sources, that it can't be simply a training program, temporary for a few months or a year. Talk to me about what the model should be going forward for a just transition.
Sure, thank you. I think your point is well taken. These facilities are not only, you can't only think about the workers at the facilities, you need to think about those workers as well as the broader impact on the communities themselves. In many cases, these plants are huge tax base resources for the communities in which they're located. So that means resources for infrastructure, schools, first responders. So we need to make sure, as we're thinking about addressing climate change and the clean economy of the future, that no community or worker is left behind, and they shouldn't be paying the price. we need to make sure not only that workers directly impacted are kept whole, but also that we're focusing on reinvestment in these communities that are seeing these losses.
And what this mayor said was, as they created jobs in the green economy, whether they're solar installers or working in energy efficiency, they became higher paying, more family sustaining jobs than some of the older fossil fuel type jobs. Are you seeing that as well?
I think a lot of the jobs that we see today in the fossil fuel economy are good jobs, and there's some significant union density. I think what we need to make sure is that the jobs that we're creating in the clean economy are as good, if not better, and making sure we have strong labor standards and procurement standards. We are investing in retraining is a key part of ensuring that.
Thank you very much.